What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got the second secret rare from BT10 to be talking about. It's Jesmon GX, which is weird coming from a Pokemon background where we had like a big 3-year period where it was all about GX Pokemon. GX Digimon? Gonna be honest with you, sounds a bit weird to me. But as other people are pointing out, we do seem to be moving into a card game where it is Jesmon's world and we're all just playing in it. Oh yeah, plus Sistermon Ciel is coming out in Japan, and that's a little bit weird, so let's start there. Oh, plus we've got another new Super X. Apparently we've not got enough cool stuff to look at in this video. Now, the fact that Sistermon Ciel is coming out in Japan is very, very weird and very, very unusual, and the reason is extremely simple. For a while, Japan had Sistermon Noir. We didn't have Sistermon Noir, for fairly obvious reasons. We replaced it with Sistermon Ciel. And Japan kept going Sistermon Noir, and we got Sistermon Ciel instead. Same card, same effect, and we've even had erratas to say you treat them the same. Sistermon Ciel is Sistermon Noir is Sistermon Ciel. But for some reason, Japan got Noir and we got Ciel. It's because of the religious imagery and things of that nature. So, why does Japan now have Sistermon Ciel? Does that mean that Japan is not getting Sistermon Noir anymore? And we will just always get Sistermon Ciel in every territory? Or is Japan going to get Sistermon Ciel and we'll get Sistermon Ciel? But then other times Japan is going to get Sistermon Noir and we're going to get Sistermon Ciel? The answer is, I don't know. But it's going to be fun finding out. As for Sistermon Ciel, what we have here is a 4-cost to play, cannot evolve, from a level 3, 5,000 power. That's about right, honestly. And when you play, if this is during your turn, because remember there's a million different ways to play Sistermon for free and it might be on your opponent's turn, but when you play, if it's your turn, you may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon with Royal Knights in its traits from your hand without paying its Digivolution cost. Now, you're not cheating here in that you're not jumping levels or going between colours. You still have to Digivolve in the same way you would. So what's the point of this? Think of it like Blitz, but for Evolution. You get to Digivolve, even though what should have happened is you play Sistermon Ciel. Oh no, now the turn has passed over to my opponent. But now instead of that, you can Digivolve after having played Sistermon Ciel, even though the turn should have gone to your opponent, and it then becomes their turn only after you've actually done the evolution, which is kind of useful. And then on your turn, once per turn, when your Digimon Digivolves into a Digimon with Huckmon in its name, or Royal Knight in its traits, gain a memory. So look, it's for Jesmon decks. We've seen all these Jesmon decks. I showed you Jesmon X-Antibody from this particular set. Go check out that video if you want a bit more information. But basically, Jesmon and Huckmon and all of that, the Royal Knights obviously is Jesmon is a Royal Knight. They all play together. They all love Sistermon. They end up playing Sistermon for free, and now you're gaining memory on evolution, as well as being able to cheat your evolution a little bit by allowing you to Digivolve when really the turn should have passed to your opponent, and this is just going to help. Once again, if you're playing these Jesmon decks, you've got another trick. Now at this stage we've got quite a lot of Sistermon cards, and they all tend to be pretty good, so decisions are going to have to be made, but this one looks kind of interesting. Before we go on to the level 7 Jesmon, we should have a look at the level 6 super rare Gankumon X-Antibody. Now that's a 13 cost to play normally, big. 4 cost to Digivolve, big. 12,000 power, shockingly enough, big. Although you can Digivolve from regular Gankumon for 1 memory, and this is what we see with X-Antibody all the time. They tend to be, sometimes a little more expensive, but it's alright, because you can go from the regular version of the Digimon into the X-Antibody version of the Digimon for a little bit cheaper. Do you want to be playing Gankumon? Maybe. But if you are, Now all of a sudden you can Digivolve up a bit more easily. And then of course you're drawing a card on Digivolution, things of that nature. Plus you've then got Blocker, which is pretty gosh darn cool. And remember, I just told you how you're like really powerful here. This is a big Digimon. This is bigger than your average Digimon. You got 12,000 power. Kind of big. And now you got Blocker, and this is kind of cool. But it is also worth pointing out that Gankumon is a Royal Knight. And this is important. Because remember I just told you a Sistermon Ciel, when you play, you can then Digivolve even if the turn should have gone to your opponent. And this is kind of huge, because you can Digivolve right before it goes to your opponent's turn. But now all of a sudden, it goes to your opponent's turn, and you've got this big blocker on the field. That's kind of awesome. Then, when Digivolving, you can play a Digimon card with Sistermon in its name from your hand or trash, presumably without paying its cost. And then, if Gankumon is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, or you have a Digimon with Sistermon in its name in play, which should be a very low bar, all of your Digimon gain 2,000 power, and cannot be returned to your hand or deck by your opponent's effects, and their DP cannot be reduced until the end of your opponent's turn. This is huge. This is why you pay that single memory to go from a Gankumon to a Gankumon X-Antibody. Firstly, you get a big powerful blocker, yay, etc. But secondly, look, you're playing a Sistermon for free, which is kind of ridiculous if you're only paying one memory to evolve. And then, now Ensan Gaming, who's provided our translation, doesn't say without cost, but it's always without cost. And also, you can always just play one from your hand, so it's a little bit weird. Maybe you do have to pay, but then you don't pay from your trash ever, so I'm assuming this is for free, because when you play from the trash, you don't pay. And then all of your Digimon get an extra 2,000 power, they can't be returned to the hand or deck, and their DP cannot be reduced. This is nuts! Absolutely nuts. I mean, the protection alone is worth Digivolving up, but there is a lot going on here, and this is cool. But we know that the headliner here is your Jesmon GX. Is it really worth it? Well, we got a level 7, 15 cost to play normally, 5 cost to Digivolve, 15,000 power. Very powerful, very expensive. Will say the 5 cost to Digivolve, it's an average of about 6 normally, so this is actually slightly cheaper to Digivolve, so yay, go team. We expect 15, 6, 15 roughly, so you know, there's a bonus. You can Digivolve as a 5 cost from any level 6 Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits. So generally speaking, you are a dual type red and black Digimon that can Digivolve from any red level 6 and any black level 6. But also here, you get to Digivolve from any level 6 that's got Royal Knight in its traits, even if it's not a black or a red. Which is clearly very, very useful. If anyone's looking for some examples here of Royal Knights, Old Force Vidramon is a Royal Knight that's blue, so that one will work quite nicely. Lord Nightmon, there's a yellow one that would work. So there are a bunch of options we can go for here. There are a bunch of Digimon that don't necessarily fit the colour scheme that you could actually use here. And that gives you an awful lot of options. It means this big powerful level 7 can actually find its way into, I mean, to put it simply, a bunch of decks you would not be expecting it in. And that can open up some really interesting deck building opportunities. Then, when Digivolving, you may place one 13 play cost or lower Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits from your hand or trash under this Digimon as a Digivolution card and activate one of that Digimon's when Digivolving effects. And then you got Blitz. Remember, Blitz is the one whereby when you Digivolve, you can still attack even if the turn should have gone to your opponent. That's kind of amazing, frankly. That's kind of amazing. So, I mean, clearly here, I'm still thinking of Gankumon. Or Gankumon X-Antibody. Because it's 13 play cost or less. And we've got Royal Knights. which is lovely. And that Digivolution skill is ridiculous. You know, you're playing a Sistermon and then you're getting extra power and all that protection. It's crazy good. So that's definitely the one that I'm thinking of here. There are a bunch of others you can have a play with. Gallantmon from BT2 lets you, if you have a Red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 power or less. I don't think it's as good. It's another option. Something to bear in mind. Something you might want to have a little bit of a play with if you get a minute. The point is, there are many different options here, and there will be more in the future. Because any Royal Knight we get from now on is going to work with this. And it doesn't give you a particular colour. It just says you may place one 13 cost or less Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits from your hand or trash, so it's super easy to find, under this Digimon as a Digivolution card and activate a Digivolving effect. It's brilliant! Absolutely brilliant. Oh yeah, and also, while this Digimon has a card with Royal Knight in its traits in its Digivolution cards, it gains Piercing, Blocker, and Security Attack +1 for each card. Which is ridiculous. Blocker obviously lets you block your opponent's attacks. Piercing says you can take out a suspended Digimon before you perform your security check. Generally, you either attack the stack or you go after a Digimon. Here you go after a Digimon, you pierce, and then you go after the stack, which is clearly great. But you can really pile these up. Remember, Gankumon X-Antibody is an X-Antibody card, and I told you there are many reasons why you would want to evolve a Gankumon into a Gankumon X-Antibody. How about this? Because now you've got Gankumon, who's a Royal Knight, and you've got Gankumon X-Antibody, who's a Royal Knight. But then you've also got your Digivolution skill that lets you place a 13 cost Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits from your hand or trash under it. So that alone should give you 3. And that's not much. A level 6, a second level 6 that Digivolves for a whopping 1 cost. And then your Evolution skill. And now you got Security Attack +3, so you're taking out 4 security cards as you go. And that's not some ridiculous, unheard of combo. That's a regular level 6 and a 1-cost level 6 and your Evolution skill. And that's literally all I'm asking here. This adds up so quickly. So crazy over the top quickly. And this could end up being really, really good. In a shocking twist, this is one to keep a little bit of an eye on. Don't forget, of course, we do have Jesmon X-Antibody, which has come along in this set. So obviously you could go Jesmon as your level 6, Jesmon X-Antibody as your second level 6. And actually, for what it's worth, Jesmon X-Antibody evolves for 0 cost rather than 1, which is kind of awesome. And then up into Jesmon GX. And once again, you've got your level 6, your second level 6, but it was free. And then you've got this. So, your skill when you Digivolve. So you should again have 3 in there and Security Attack +3 without any crazy, random, over-the-top combos. And by now, I'm hoping you can see quite how powerful this is. This could get nuts. To put it simply, if you don't like seeing Jesmon, I don't know what to tell you at this stage. Maybe take a format or 2 off. Maybe wait a little while, because it's only gonna get worse. Oh, actually, I mentioned Gallantmon earlier. So actually, it would be silly of me if I didn't also mention, yes, there is a Gallantmon X-Antibody, and look, the X-Antibody are huge here. Because remember, you get Security Attack +1 for each Royal Knight in your Evolution sources. So having Royal Knight X-Antibody is kind of gigantic. Gallantmon, like Gankumon, evolves as a 1 cost. But now you can have 2 of them nice and easily plus your Evolution skill, and there's your Security Attack +3 without even really trying. And then there's an option card we can look at nice and quickly before we finish here. What we've got is Seiken Meppa. We've got a 3-cost option card. While you have a Digimon with Royal Knight in its traits, you can ignore this card's colour requirements. So it's nominally a white option card, but as long as you've got any Royal Knight in play, it's fine. As a security, you add it to your hand, and what it does is unsuspend one of your Digimon, which is fine. But if that Digimon is Jesmon GX, activate one of its when Digivolving effects. which I'm sure by now you've realised means that you get to put a 13 play cost or less Digimon under it, and then that means that you get an extra security attack. Yeah, that's going to help, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to help. This looks like an absolute top tier card, which is going to make a huge difference. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.